Hi, this is Trinesha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about people who left. So, I know that is such a weird title, but I was doing some self-reflection earlier, much like I do every day, because I'm always trying to improve and become a better person and everything else. And again, I'm gonna have to do a little side note about this hair and everything because I always explain myself. Not that I need to explain it, but I think it's important to be realistic, so that when people see me, they're not like, oh, well, something's different about her or whatever else. Like this way, you know what's going on. It's not just like you have to jump to conclusions. And even though I say something, don't take, you don't have to just expect that what I'm saying is just the truth, like you could just take it as it is, take it or leave it. And so, of course, the hair does what it wants to. So, because I've been doing swimming lessons and I'm in the pool a lot, like every week, my hair gets really dry. So, every morning I have to like put water on it, I have to put conditioner on it, and I have to put oil on it so that way I can lock in the moisture. And so, some days it's long, the hair is like down here and it's looking, good, it's looking lengthy. And then some days it's up here and it just shrunk all the way up to here. Today it just so happens that it's this length. And so every day it's gonna look different because I have to keep moisturizing it. And it's just one of those things. And it's so weird because some people will look and they'll be like, oh, well, your hair is like this, or you got your hair like that, or, whatever else. And I'm just like, I really didn't cut my hair. This is the same hair, the same length. It just looks different lengths because of the shrinkage. Like I have, not that this matters, but 4B, 4C hair. And so whenever I moisturize it or I put water on it, it could be with water on it and conditioner, it could be down here. As soon as it starts to dry, it's like, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what it is today. And I'm getting ready to exercise in a little bit, so that's why I got my green leggings on. They're kind of like joggers. And I have on a black wide strap tank top with my white hoodie. And I just did it like that. And then I, of course, wore my camouflage shoes that have like the green with the black in it just to match it. I could do also my black tennis shoes, but I decided to do the green with the camouflage just to go work out. And, I have my studs on. These are just the earrings that I slept in, and I sleep in this necklace. So I usually have this on before I work out. I know people are like, you're about to work out and you have jewelry on. And then my face looks like moisturized, but not like, I don't want to say extra, but sometimes like when I have makeup on, it's something different about it. Like it'll accentuate some features. Like maybe, you'll see like the shadow, it'll be like highlighting my brows or something because I have the shadow underneath, or you'll see my eyelashes a little more, which usually in every video I never notice my lashes because it's like I'm sitting so far back you just can't tell they're there. And maybe, I don't know what the other differences are, but most of the time, the things that I notice the most is that my eyelashes or my eye makeup is not standing out as much as like my eyes aren't standing out as much as they usually are because I usually do the whole thing here. And so that becomes a thing. And then on my lips, I usually just put on like Carmex or something. And so my lips just look plain. They don't look like they've got like the purple that I like to put on in the videos or whatever else. So those are the three differences in my hair. Because when I like get ready for the day and I go get in the shower after I work out, what I'll do is I'll put more water on my hair because my hair is like literally eating up the moisture because of the swimming class. Like you don't understand. Like you think I'm joking, but I could wake up tomorrow and my hair will be completely dry. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like chlorine is not kind to natural hair. Let me just tell you that. And so when I go to my class tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the lock method and I'm going to put in a lot of moisture, which a lot of people suggested getting like dollar conditioner or like really, really cheap conditioner and just using a lot of it. And so that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to buy like a bunch of bottles of them, not a bunch, maybe like two bottles. And every time I'm about to go to my class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my hair. I'm going to drench it probably before the class. And then I'm going to bring my conditioner and my oil. I'm going to put my hair in two braids. I'm just going to like probably deep finger detangle and then put it in two braids. And I'm going to pin my braids on the sides. And then I'm going to put my swim cap on. And then that way, when some of the moisture comes in from the pool through the swim cap, my hair, even though it's a little damp, it won't, the chlorine won't just strip my hair, it'll be super protected. And then when I get out of the pool, what I'll do is I'll rinse it. I'll rinse out the chlorine. I'll put, you know, I don't know if I'm going to shampoo. I might just co-wash. I might just do like some conditioner and then just put the conditioner that you wash out in, and I'll just, do the whole body cleanse thing, and then let the conditioner sit in my hair and then rinse it out. And then I'll put, you know, after there's been rinses it after it's been rinsed, it'll already have water on it. Then I'll put conditioner in it and I'll lock it in with the oil. And that will help me keep moisture in my hair. Even if I just, detangle and then put it in two braids again, it'll still help. And usually after pool, like when you see me do videos when I get home, that's why I have a hat on with like two braids or something, because I literally, or two bands, because I literally just got out of the pool and my hair is like dry-ish. Like I try to dry it as much as I can, but I don't like use a lot of heat on it. So it's like mostly dry. And so, anyways, I say all of that just to like get people into the video and they know like a little bit about me as well and the things that I'm kind of focused on. So, God's been working some things out in my life, and so I know like some of the videos I've been talking about like a person or a place or a thing or whatever else, and God has really been like having me do some self-reflection, like, hey, do you really truly care about these people in your life, or do you just want the benefits? Like, do you just want what will benefit you? Because if you're saying that you selfishly want somebody because of your own benefit when they could be better off with someone else, then do you truly care about that person? If you are saying, okay, well, I think it's so great that they're doing all of these things, but, what about me? Listen, God has not forgotten about you. If you really truly care, and you got to clutch your pearls a little bit when God comes at you like that, because you're like, it's so true. If you really truly care about your ex, if you really truly care about a person in general, you're not just only thinking about what you reap from that relationship or what you reap from having that person in your life. You need to be considering what it is that they gain, which you can mutually benefit from it. And if you're only thinking about yourself, that person is probably not for you, or you are not in the right headspace to even be with that person in the first place. And even though you're saying, well, I'm healed, I'm ready, I've done all of this, I'm being obedient to God, so why can't I have this thing? Because you need to do some self-reflection. And it's really hard because the only person that you're critiquing is yourself. And I don't mean you beat up on yourself and make yourself feel badly and then give the adversary an avenue to just destroy your entire life and the things that God's built within you. I mean that you really think about the reasons why you want this friend in your life. You think about the reasons why you want this person in your life. Are you benefiting them at all? Not just is it benefiting you. When you're with them, are they doing the things that they need to do? When you're talking to them, are they trying to be a better person? Do you bring out the best in that person, or do you bring out the worst in them? Because as badly as you want them, if you're making them a worse person, you're not good for them. And you have to be the type of person that's making them want to be better. You can't just have somebody, drag somebody down just because you want them to be with you. That's only benefiting you. That's not benefiting them. And God had me really think, do I really want the best for certain people in my life? And I had to really take a moment and think, like, is this person in my life because I think it will benefit me, or is this person in my life because I want to benefit them? You know? And I don't mean just the mutually beneficial thing. I mean for real, because sometimes we could be so selfish. We think about what we can gain. We think about, oh yeah, I'll have this person. Some people even like, and this just popped into my head, and it's not to get on these people, but some people that like want to fight over one guy or fight over one woman, it's like you're doing all of that to get with them because of your ego, because you want to prove that you're better than somebody else when God already created you worthy. You don't have to prove it to a man or a woman. that you are worthy. God already created you worthy. He cares about every hair on your head. If you are with this person, it's because you truly care about their well being and they truly care about your well being. And them having you go up against somebody else is not saying that they care about your well being at all. It's saying they don't care about your mental capacity. They don't care about your emotional intelligence. They don't care about your emotional health. They don't care about the fact that your health will be deteriorating because of stress and because of the tension that it's putting on your body. That's not someone that cares about you, you know? And I know you're probably saying, "Oh, what do you know? You're single." Listen, I know I'm single. You don't have to keep saying that in your mind. But listen, when you really truly care about somebody, you care about them being their best, even if it's not with you. You care about them being a better person, even if you don't get to benefit from it. You care about them growing and learning and having the things that brings them joy because you care about their well-being. You really loving somebody like God loves you is, and I'm not saying we could reach God's level, but when you're thinking about being Christ-like and being a loving, caring person, you really have to consider if you are good for the person as well. Are you at your healthiest? Do you still have some toxicity on you? Like, are you still on that get back? You know, like because if you feel like you have to seek revenge or you have to be on some kind of get back for a person, that is not you wanting the best for them. That's you trying to, nurture your own ego. That's you trying to give yourself a few points because you feel like it's a game. And I know a lot of people play games, but you really have to be intentional with your life. You're spending all this time trying to do these things for somebody who might not even be for you. You're doing all of these things, and even if they are for you, you coming at it with the worst intentions probably isn't the best for your life. It probably isn't. I know it's hard, and I know it really sucks because you wanted that thing, that person, place, or thing. I know it doesn't feel the greatest to watch them be with somebody else or whatever else it is. I know it really sucks when you think you're going to get something that you don't get. I know it really sucks when you thought your life was going to be one way, but it turns out totally different. But you're still blessed. But you still have everything that you need. But the things that God has for you will be yours. It's not like you got to do the most to get it. And also, when I say that you don't have to do the most, something that God placed on me earlier this morning when I was listening to this pastor was, I used to think people are gonna like really judge me for this, but it's fine because I feel like there's somebody else in this position and it might bless you. But I used to feel like men had no emotions at all. They don't care, they don't love, they don't do anything but just be men, and they're only seeking things for themselves. Please, don't take offense to this. This is just my opinion in the past. This is not how I feel now. But I really used to feel like it was just all for them and them for, all for one and one for all. Like that was just, it was all about them, all about what they want, when they want it, how they want it. It was just all about them just getting the things that they want and nothing else. Like I felt like being with somebody meant only caring about what it is that they wanted. Like you don't get a say so. I used to feel like it was just kind of like as long as they're happy, it doesn't matter if you're happy or not. I know that sounds so crazy, but I feel like there's somebody that watched this video now that is like, oh my gosh, I thought the same thing. I thought that really it was just all about them. Like, yes, I want to be happy, but I really, truthfully, if I'm really acknowledging how I'm feeling, if I'm really being real with myself, that's really how I was feeling. Is that it doesn't matter how I feel, it only matters that they're happy, you know? And it's so weird to even say that out loud, but I feel like that's what a lot of us do as women because we have this scarcity mindset of or a lack mindset because of the adversary trying to make us feel like, well, they have more women that are available. No, that is so that statistically is like, what is it, 51% more women than men or something like that, and to 49% men, and that's not even that large of a number. Like, yes, in the grand scheme of things, but you don't need all of those people. You just need one person who's willing to see you for who you are and truly cherish you and really honor and respect you and want you. That's it. Just one out of all them people. And there are 1.5 million men that are single in the United States. You only need one of 1.5. You don't need like every single guy that you meet to want you. You don't need every single guy that you meet to see your value, because if that was the case, you'd be with everybody. But God has an appointed person for you. And sometimes I think that we forget that, because when people throw statistics at you, you start forgetting that God's the exception. You start forgetting that God is the God that can make anything possible. He is the God of abundance. If there's something that you don't have in your life, God will make sure that you get it. It's not like you're going to be without because one person didn't see your value. There will always be someone else who will see your value. And the pastor gave this analogy earlier today, and he said it's just like when you go to a lot for like one of the expensive cars that's not like, they don't have ads and they're not like promoting it or anything like that. People just know the value of this car. And there's certain people that will ask what the price is, and they just know they can't afford it, and they won't get it. They'll see it, they know it looks nice, but they won't be willing to put forth the work to get it. They won't be willing to put forth that effort or pay the price for it. And I don't mean pay the price in the Jesus way. I just mean like really be intentional with their where they're headed, like heading in the direction of being intentional in a relationship or something like that. And there will be some people who will come in and just buy it because they know it's worth. They know that this car is valuable. They know that this is everything that they want. And they don't have to figure out what the price is because they're willing to pay it. And when he said that, it just really made me think of things like in another way, because it's like when I go places, people see me all the time. And of course, if you know the story in the past, not to boast or anything like that, this is just to give you an idea of what I go through in my life. I'll go different places, and usually every time I go somewhere alone, I always get hit on. I always get asked out or hit on every time. And it's not just like a, hey, you look beautiful or you have a nice outfit. It's like, hey, what do I have to do to get to know you? Or it'll be like, what's your number, or are you taken, or it's a bunch of different things, but it'll be something along those lines. And most of those people are not the person. And of course, in that time I wasn't healed and I wasn't ready anyways. And then when I started becoming ready to be healed, I haven't been anywhere really. And I kind of at the beginning was like, I'm just gonna stay home because I don't want to get hit on, because now that I'm ready, it's scary. Now that I'm ready, if somebody asks me and I'm interested, now it's gonna be like, in the back of my mind, all I could hear is the adversary saying, no person is ever gonna step up. No person is ever gonna really be intentional about me. No person is ever really going to put forth that real effort. You know, it's going to be a bunch of people that just aren't about that God life. They're not really intentional about life at all. They just kind of go with the flow, or whatever else is what I was hearing in the back of my mind as I was ready. And it's almost like Satan felt threatened. Like he was just like, I need to make sure that you don't meet anybody, because if you are out there and you meet somebody and you have a kingdom relationship, then I'm in trouble, because you are already a force alone. I mean, you are already purposeful alone. You're already about that God life. You already are intentional with the things that you're doing in your life. If you and another person who is super intentional is both seeking God and you have a kingdom relationship, oh my gosh, can you imagine the things that we can dominate in this world? Like, I know, like, it's not happening. And in my mind, I could see a picture of that. I could see a picture of just literally being able to change the entire world with this person. I could literally see that, because God is our number one focus, that it will cut down on a lot of the frivolous disagreements. I don't mean things that actually matter. Because God is in the center, it will help us be more loving and more selfless, and be able to see that it's not just about me, it's about the kingdom. You know, it's about making sure that because this person, I'm interested in this person, I'm interested in what it is that they're doing and what it is that they're saying. I'm not just only thinking about what will benefit me. and vice versa. It's not just me being selfish every day, it's me being selfless every day. It's me being willing to actually put forth a real effort in a relationship and not just sabotage it. It's about me really being open to communicate and not just shutting down. Because I have this thing that I used to do, and I didn't even realize I was doing it until this pastor was preaching about self sabotage. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I do. Like, that's exactly what I used to do. I literally will have a conversation and say something so off, so far in the left field, like so far off that the person would just be like, or they would just I would say something to just push the person away. I would literally like try to run as fast as I could from the situation. I like would push people away, say things, whatever I could do to just not lock in that relationship, to just like get as far away from any person. And I would do this with friends, I would do this with family, I would do this with potential people, people that I would just be talking to, people that I would be in a relationship with, whatever. I would always do something to push them away. And I just, every time I feel them get a little closer, I feel comfortable, or I feel like, we're hitting it off, or we have something in common, or, the conversation just flows naturally, or, I just could feel myself starting to like them. I could just feel myself immediately pull, like just like imagine you're fish swimming in the pond or in the lake and someone's fishing. You just living your life fishing, floating around and everything, natural life. All of a sudden, you go to bite this worm, you get hooked and yanked out of the water just like that. That's how I was in relationships. I was like that fish yanked out of the water. I would pull back so fast and so like swiftly. I would do it with so much like I don't know, like I just had so much, like it was aggressive pullback. It wasn't just like oh, I'm slowly pulling back. It was like, like, like like this is how close I am to getting with somebody, or how close I am to like letting somebody in. And I will get right here and it would be like too close, like, oh, let me just and I did the leg thing and everything, but yeah. That's how I would be. I would literally just pull back so quickly. And I just couldn't imagine letting somebody in. I couldn't imagine giving somebody an opportunity. And every time I get to a place where I feel like I'm healed or I'm ready to talk to someone, like this person who you know, like I said, they probably will never see this video anyways, and it's not going to happen. So I think it's fine, and I'm not saying anything derogatory, so I feel like that's fine. And so just like with this person, I just, you know, I finally felt like I was in a place where I was willing to like just talk about the things that was going on, because I I did a few things that I'm not proud of. I'm not saying things like that. Like I said one thing at the beginning that was kind of like harsh, and I only said it because I felt like I was getting too close. Like we hit it off instantly. It was weird, and I don't know. It just kind of made me feel like super scared. I was just like, there's no way. I'm not about to just fall into this trap again. Like, I can't like someone that doesn't like me. I can't care about someone that doesn't care about me. And God's really been checking me on that like this whole year. Like, listen, are you caring about somebody because you want to benefit from it only for yourself selfishly, or do you truly care about this other person's well being? Because if you care about them, you have to care about what it is that they want as well. You have to care about the fact that they're willing to grow as well. If they can't grow with you, or if you're not the right person for them, you should want them to be happy. You should be supportive. I mean, not supportive like I need to talk to them or anything, but the intentions that I have should be from the best place. It shouldn't be from a selfish place. It should be because I truly, genuinely care. I want what's best for this person, not that I just only want them. They can only be with me because I'm the only person that they'll ever be with, or, I don't know what. And, it's just one of them things. And so I just, God's really been like, listen, when you care about somebody, you truly care about them. You care about their well being. You care about what it is that's making them better. If they need to be without you in this season, because I said so, then you need to allow them to grow. You need to give them the space. And I'm not saying like you need to just wait around for somebody because you're waiting around for somebody, something like that. I'm not saying that at all. Don't wait for anybody. Like, do your life, live your life, do your thing that you got to do, stay in your purpose, stay focused on God. I'm just saying this is just part of the story. And so God is just like, if I have some growing that I have to do on the inside of them, if I'm working on them, if I'm trying to make them into a better person, I can't have somebody be with you and hurt you. I can't have you be with one of my children and you pull back and you're invulnerable and you say things to push people away because this person has had people push them away forever. This person has felt like they were invaluable forever. This person has been feeling like they're not who I created them to be forever. And in order for you both to be at your full potential, I'm going to need you both to grow. I'm going to need you both to learn from this. I'm going to need you both to be working on yourselves. And for you to not be selfish at all, you're really going to have to think about what is best for the other person. You can't just think selfishly, well, I want this person to do this at this point. It's not on your timeline, it's on God's timeline. And although that's difficult and you want things right now at this very moment, you can't have it until God's ready for you. Having something prematurely is disastrous. It could be the right person, you have them in the wrong time. That is Satan's territory because he wants you to be broken to push somebody away to make them feel like they're invaluable, to make them feel like they're not valuable. He wants you to be invulnerable. He wants you to feel like you can't trust or be around any person because if you get with somebody, then then he's in trouble. You might tear the whole world up, you know. And so he wants you to try to feel rushed, like you have to hurry up and get there because if you don't, someone else will step into your place. That's not how God works. God is not just going to promise you something and then give it to somebody else. Anything that's for you will be for you. And you won't have to do the most to get it. You just have to be yourself. And that's something that I had this weird thing in the beginning where I just felt like I could hear the adversary in my the back of my head like you'll never be in a healthy relationship. What is the point of you even trying right here? What is the point of you even getting to know him? He's just gonna be like every other guy. What is the point of you being even like telling him anything? Because he won't care because it's all about him. It's all about the men. Men just only care about themselves. They're not gonna really truly care about you, you know. And so in the back of my mind, I was just like, and then why would I meet somebody that soon? Doesn't make any sense for God to give me something, but then have everybody else wait 15, 20 years. They've been waiting forever. There's women that are literally begging to be in relationships. So why is God wanting me to be in a relationship? Like at first I felt like it was a punishment. Like maybe this is like God's true get back. Like he wants me to fall for someone and then say, but you'll never be with anybody. Ha ha ha. You know? I don't know why I did the ha ha ha, but that's how I was feeling. I was really feeling like, okay, well, this is the real punishment. This is what I really am like reaping what I sowed. This is the real thing. Like, God really doesn't want to bless me in the season. Like, I've done so much wrong. God's like, okay, now that you've exhaled a little bit, let me go ahead and dump it in your lap, and just, but God's not that type of God. He's not trying to punish you. Like, will you reap what you sow? Yes. And that could be good or bad. That doesn't mean that you just always have to sit around waiting for the next shoe to drop. That doesn't mean that you just expect God to never bless you with anything. That doesn't mean that God ever forgot about you when he feels like you're not worthy of anything. God created you worthy. You might not be worthy of his mercy and grace, but you are good and beautifully and wonderfully made, exactly the way that he created you to be, at your best version. And I mean your best version because today, this might be your best version. Tomorrow, because of the things you learned today, you might be a better version. So every day, you are the best version of yourself. That is exactly how God created you to be, exactly who God created you to be. You don't have to try to be somebody else. You don't have to try to do the most to get something that's yours. But you do have to be willing to let somebody know that you're interested, which is something that I learned. I was today years old when I learned that. Like, I was like, listen, either they want me or they don't. I was just like, it is what it is. Because I really was in my head like I don't really want to be with anybody anyway. So this is just like a easy out. Like this is a excuse that I can make to not be with people, you know. And then I learned that people actually have to know that you're interested in them. I know like that sounds like common sense, but I just felt like, if you're talking to them, they know you're interested. If you say give them a compliment, they know you're interested. But it's not just about complimenting somebody, it's about really being intentional. Like you can't just want somebody else to be intentional and you're not. You can't want somebody else to be consistent and you're not. You can't expect all of these things from somebody else that only God can give you or that you're not willing to give to somebody else. How can I expect somebody to be open and honest with me if I'm not willing to be honest with them? How can I expect somebody to let me in if I got this barrier around me? A barrier. I have a guard on my heart and a barrier around me with, just some vicious animals just guarding everything that I am. How could I ever even give somebody an opportunity to be able to step foot into my circle, to even get to know me? And that's the type of things that God's been showing me lately. He's like, listen, you've been healing, you've been healed. But when things don't go your way, you start putting your walls back up. It's not, the things aren't going your way because it's trying to deter you or try to make you feel like you can't have any hope. It's not going your way because it's not time. It's not going your way because you still have work to do. And that doesn't mean that you are completely broken. It just means that some of those things from the past are still there that you thought you got rid of a long time ago. It just means that you still have to make sure that you're intentional with when you are talking to people. That means that because this is something that you struggle with, you're going to have to keep that at the forefront of your mind so that you don't unintentionally push people away. That just means that when people give you an opportunity to talk, you can't just shut down and not say anything. I have this thing where people will be wanting to talk about something, and because it wasn't on the time that I wanted, I'm like, oh, that's fine. Oh, okay. And I just kind of shut the whole conversation down and just go on with my life. I don't even give people an opportunity to, like, for us to even communicate, even though I love communication, which is weird. And so God's like been bringing it to the forefront of my mind, like, listen, if this is an opportunity for you to really talk. This is an opportunity for you to really say something that you've been meaning to say. And I don't mean like you got to go in and like just be doing the most to manipulate a situation. I mean, when you're truly being intentional and you're just having a normal conversation, not doing the most or trying to be extra or be somebody ungodlike or, unchristlike or anything like that. But when you have an opportunity to have a conversation with someone, take it. I don't mean you need to go out of your way to seek closure or any of those things. I mean that when someone is intentionally asking you a question because they really truly do care or they really truly do want to know what's going on, be honest with them. You don't have to like give a whole bunch of energy to it because I just would say fine and it's okay because I didn't want to make it seem like I cared or I wanted to make it, I didn't want to give that much energy to the thing. But God's telling me, listen, nobody knows what you're thinking. You might care about this person so much, but if you act like you don't care, they're going to think that you're disinterested. They're going to think that you don't care. So, in order for you to really truly care, you don't have to be like throwing yourself at the person and doing the most, but be intentional. Really show interest. Like, don't just go all out of the way doing the most. But if someone is saying, they're really intentionally trying to get to know you, tell them something about you. You don't have to tell your whole life story and all the skeletons in your closet, but just be, you know, be yourself. And yeah, I definitely learned that today. I really truly, like, some people are going to be so shocked and they're going to be like, how could you believe this? But you're talking about first love yourself and all this other stuff. I do love myself. I've also had a lot of hurt in the past. I've also went through so many things that it's just sometimes letting people in just seems non-existent. It seems like one of those things that's impossible. But I know that with God, anything is possible. And I can't just worry about all of the things that someone else is doing. I need to worry about myself. I need to make sure that I have the best of intentions. regardless if somebody does or doesn't want me, regardless if I, and I'm not saying you just are the only person pouring in and you just give somebody all your energy all the time and they never do anything to like try to get to know you, or they never do anything to put forth any type of effort. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about when someone is really intentionally trying to get to know you. You don't have to just feel like you have to put up this wall and this barrier around you to never let anybody in, because not only will it keep the wrong people out, but it'll keep the right people out as well. And that's not healthy or good for you, because God will use those people to grow you. He will use those people to be a part of your life. And if they can't get in, they can't help you, you know? And so I was reading this thing that this preacher posted, and it says, I'm just going to say it real fast. Whoever walked away from you is not part of God's purpose for your current season. God doesn't build your life on people who left. When I heard that, it made me think about the things that God removes from my life, or the people, places, or things that God's removed from my life. And sometimes we just can't understand why He's taking things away, but it's for our benefit. It's because what we need to do in this season requires us. And I heard this pastor in the sermon yesterday, and he said something like, you'll look around and you'll see people get the promotion, or you'll see people in a relationship, and it's just like, why did that person get to be in a relationship at this point? And I've been praying for a relationship, whatever, forever, or this job forever. And the pastor said something that I think would really bless everybody. He said, that person is in a relationship because they couldn't get to the next season alone. They needed another person. You, on the other hand, can do this by yourself. You don't need another person to do what you have to do in this season of your purpose. God is saying that you're strong enough to be able to accomplish this on your own. The other person needs somebody else to help them. You don't even realize the blessing that you have. You don't even realize how powerful or how strong you are at this moment. You keep thinking how weak you are, how much you're missing, but God is saying you're enough. God is saying that everything that you are, everything that you're doing is right. You're doing the right thing. It's not a punishment. It's because He knows that we're strong enough to handle it. It's because He knows that even when we're weak, we will call on Him. We don't need a group of people or a bunch of people. Sometimes you'll see a bunch of people surrounding somebody and you're like, okay, I'm doing the right thing and there's nobody in my circle, or something. Or I'm doing the right thing and I'm not in a relationship. I'm doing the right thing and I don't have my dream job, or whatever it is. And God is saying you don't need those things. You just need me, and you can do this on your own. We really underestimate ourselves. We really do. Because you don't even know your own strength. You think that because you're crying, that makes you weak. When you're crying, that's something that has to happen. That thing that's washing over you is just like water. Water is used to purify you. It's used to change things. It's used to take you to another level. Every time you shed a tear, it's that thing breaking off of you. Every time you shed a tear, it's that thing cleansing you of the toxic things that you used to do. Every time you shed a tear, it's you releasing something that no longer has a hold on you. And you think that a tear makes you weak, but a tear can make you stronger than you've ever been in your entire life. Don't ever underestimate yourself or the power of God, because with God, everything is possible. And so, in conclusion, when people leave, sometimes it's easy to blame yourself and you feel like you don't understand why this person couldn't do the right thing, or why this person had to leave, or why these people aren't in your life. But God's saying, I have better for you. This might not be the right time. God is saying that right now I need you to focus on me and do what you can do. Because in this season, you can do it on your own. I'm not saying that God won't send people to help you. I'm just saying that in this season, you need to focus on loving yourself, honoring and respecting yourself. You need to focus on self-reflecting, acknowledging your flaws and acknowledging the things that you have that are a weakness so it can become a strength, acknowledging how you can grow, and know that the people that left is for a reason, because they weren't important to your purpose at this moment. They're not something that is necessary. to keep you in your purpose at this moment. Eventually, God may bring them back. But right now, you need to appreciate the season that you're in. You need to appreciate the strengths that God's already given you, the strength that you have inside of you that you feel like you're so weak and you just can't handle this. All of the negative things that people have told you in the past about you not being able to do anything, or you're not smart, or you're easily manipulated, or whatever negative thing somebody said to you in the past is not who you are. That's one comment from one person who's broken themselves. Most people that are broken, that are miserable, or that have not found their purpose in life say things like this to you because they see potential in you. They say it to you because they are a confused supporter. They say it to you because they feel like you can handle it because they see your strength. They're telling you these things and they're putting all of this on you because you look strong and you are strong. Now, do you need to create some healthy boundaries for them people? Yes, especially if they have to be a part of your life. You need to let them know that that's inappropriate, or that you're not going to be willing to stick around to listen to that type of stuff. And also know that you have everything that you need. You know, that extra job, that extra person, place, or thing is just an extra bonus. It's not necessary for your life. God is giving you the strength from the things that you've been through so that you can make it through into the next season. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to know that He is God. You have to trust in Him. Trust in the promises that He's given you. Don't grow weary in well doing. Do not allow the circumstance or the things in your life to determine what God's trajectory is for your life, for the things that He has for you. Because whatever God promised you, He will give you. He is a God that He cannot lie. You just have to seek Him first. Know that He is God, and don't harp on the things that are gone or the things that were taken away, because those are blessings. I feel like I've learned so much in the past 3 weeks about myself than I could have ever learned in an entire year or in an entire however long I've been alive, you know. And it's only because of God. It's because He removed the things that weren't necessary for the season and gave me the things that I needed. He gave me insight. He gave me knowledge. He gave me a lot of self-reflection. He gave me Him. You know, without God, I would be nothing. Like, without God, I'd be lost. I'd be trying to find something to fill me instead of Him. I would feel like, because of these people, that something's wrong with me. And I don't mean that I still don't have moments of loneliness, or I still have moments where I feel, you know, that little nagging thought in the inside of my mind. But I quickly remind myself that I know who God is. I quickly remind myself that I'm the head and not the tail. I quickly remind myself that I'm above only and not beneath. I quickly remind myself that I am more than a conqueror. There's all of these things that I've been through in my life, and I made it this far. There's no way I'm turning back. There's no way that I'm going to let one thing the adversary does, or one person walking away, or whatever happens in my life, stop the purpose that God placed upon me. I'm just not about to do that. I made it way too far. There's way too many women that need this. There's way too many men who are being yelled at. There's way too many men who feel like they can't cry because, you know, boys don't cry, whatever it is. Like, and I'm not saying we need to go soft on guys. I really do feel like they need to be held accountable. I just think that we don't need to be nasty to them just to prove that we're strong, you know, and I hope that makes sense. And also for women, if you really truly want to be treated the way that God intended you to be treated, you have to know your worth. You have to love yourself and honor yourself. And you loving and honoring yourself is you loving and honoring God. Because God has the best of intentions for you. God never intended for you to be miserable. He never intended for you to settle for anything less than what He has already had appointed for you. He never intended for you to just lay down for anything. Even Jesus had standards when He was in the synagogue and He was flipping over tables and stuff because people were in there gambling and doing all the wrong things. Like, you're supposed to have standards. Being Christian doesn't mean you let people walk all over top of you. It means that you stick to what it is that you truly believe in, and you be the best version of yourself and stay focused on God. Because if you're focused on God, you don't have to worry about anything else. Everything that you need is right here.